Are here with Kelly Bleyer from the 1110 KBND newsroom, and we are getting to know the personalities on the station. Now, for starters, how long have you been covering the news?
Here?
Just as a professional.
20 years, 22 years.
Right on. How long have you been covering the news here in Central Oregon?
About a year. About a year.
All right. So, are you? Did the job bring you to Central Oregon, or do you have roots here?
My husband's job brought me to Central Oregon. His family lives here, has retired here, so we moved here about 3 years ago. And he worked as a sportscaster for a couple of years, and that's what really brought us to this area. And I have spent the last couple of years home with our twins, and they're in school full time, so that I went back to work. So after having done TV news for 20-some years and taking a couple of years off, then I got involved in this radio station. It's been great.
All right, so you've been up here for a little while now, and what is your favorite or most interesting story that you have covered in the past year up here at KBND?
Wow, that's hard because we do so many stories. Each person does usually 3 to 4 stories in a day. I do a lot of the arts stories that happen during the course of a week. I do a weekly feature called Heart of the Arts that's been going for several years here at KBND. And that's really been fun, going out and seeing all the different artists, from young kids to professionals, people coming from Broadway, performing at the Tower Theater, and getting to know them. And like I said, just the tremendous amount of arts that are available for people living in Central Oregon. It's really quite astounding. It's really been eye-opening for me.
Okay, so what do you like about living in Central Oregon?
Well, that's hard to narrow down.
Just give me a couple of them.
It's obviously beautiful, and it's a recreation area. You can go skiing just half an hour away, and hiking and biking. There's a lot of things to do. I find the weather very pleasant. I'm originally from the Midwest, and so we can have some brutal weather here. I like the 4 seasons. I like that we have snow, but it's not like some of the snow that I've endured in the Midwest and in Colorado, where you have blizzard conditions and it's really quite frightening. So I think the people are friendly. It's nice having family here, and
right on.
all those things.
All right, and a lot of, especially younger people nowadays, aren't watching or listening to the news as much as they used to. Could you let our listeners know why it's so important to stay up on the news?
Do you have an hour? I mean, it's just,
yeah, I know
it
there's
really
a lot
is.
of it.
I feel so passionately about this, especially young people, and I know they get their news differently than I come from my parents' generation, in that 5:30 when the news is on, that's appointment television. It is still the case for me. I really like to see that news, but it isn't for a lot of people. They go on the internet, etc. But you really have to be informed about what's going on. And I've had people say over the years, oh, but it's so depressing. Well, you can't stick your head in the sand. If there's something bad going on in the community, let's try to right it. And so it's so important for not only the community, but for democracy, that people be informed on all the issues that are going on, not only locally, but nationally. And again, it's at our peril that people are not, because you have to know what's going on, good, bad, and different.
Exactly. And before we wrap up this interview, one question I'm throwing at everybody here.
Okay.
Tell me something about yourself that people that know you in real life might not know. Just some interesting, quirky fact about yourself.
Quirky fact. Well, my immediate reaction was that I was a double major in college, and my other passion besides journalism is vocal music. I love to sing. I do the children's choir at our church, and that's what I thought I wanted to be when growing up, because I just love music and have a real passion for music, and believe it's really important that we instill that in the younger generation going forward. So I still do it, and singing at weddings and singing at church and that kind of thing, but that's something that a lot of people don't know about me.
Well, that's music to my ears. Thank you very much.